Good day. Today in this demo, I'm gonna be explaining and demonstrating my HTTP requests to the endpoints that I have in my application, just to test that the card functionality works in my application, all the way from authentication to different functionalities. Um, so in order to test that, I'm gonna demonstrate it with Swagger UI, of which I incorporated um in my back end Spring application. All right, cool. So here on the right, I have Swagger, where I'm gonna test all the endpoint requests. And then here I just have a database that I'm connected to. That has all the data. So let's start off with authentication. So registration. So right now I am already registered. So to log into the application, we'll go to the authentication section. Let's see here, over here, place the email, right, and the password. So this user, Jeremy Ridgely, can log in. As soon as you log in, get the token over there, which I place here in this authorization block. Now I am logged in as that user. Cool. So that shows that the login authentication works. I'm going to demonstrate how to get an the profile that I just created with a GET request, of course. So this endpoint uses me, and I just click execute because the request is ultimately being made to users forward slash me over here, and I get the JSON formatted data over here of the user's details: ID, username, profile picture, team supported, uh, all the way to followers and who the person is following. You can see the the other user that this user is following over here. Cool. That's to get a profile. To follow another user, since there's other users in the application, I can go ahead and follow someone, another user in the application. Cool. So in order to do that, uh, make a post request to this endpoint, users forward slash followed by the user ID of the user that I want to follow, forward slash follow. That's the endpoint. In order to follow that person, since within the endpoint or within the URL we have the ID that has to be passed to that parameter, right? So we need to place the user's ID. So we can go see different users here in the database. So we have Paul, Jem, Uma, all of that. So we can, for instance, come here to this first user, right? Paul. He has the ID of 1. Click there and execute. You'll see that uh, the follow was successful. So we get this message. Cool. That's how we follow a user. Then to create a post, so since my application is all about creating posts about different football players in the PSL league, you can create a post about a specific football player. So just like you create a post on Instagram about yourself, it's pretty much the same functionality. Only difference is making a post about a soccer player. In order to make a post about a soccer player, you need to place the player ID, followed by the player name, the club, the match week, the title, the content, as well as an image, which we don't really have to put an image because we're just demonstrating the back end, not the front end. So let's have a look at that. So I'll go to my post controller section. And in order to create this post, we're making a request to / posts because we're making our post. Um, so let's see the different players we can make posts about. So here's the players in my application. Uh, well, these are the teams they support. If I open up here, can make a post. Let's make a post about this first player over here with the user ID 1. Plays for Supersport United. Uh, and this is his name. Alright, cool. So uh, player ID would be 1, player name, the club, Supersport. So we need to place all these fields because these are the fields that I've set in my data transfer object a specifically for a post, right? So all the data that is held by the DTO. So all these fields. So you can choose a match week, a title, uh, as well as the content over here. I could go on and on about the content and fill it in, but just to make it short. Then um, we have an option to add an image, but we'll just make the request like this. So this is the post, and click execute. Uh, okay, still loading. Okay, so yeah, it usually makes a post when we make the post request to this endpoint with all these details filled in. Uh, but we'll come back to it. In the meantime, let's move on to the next request. So here we can go and get a post by ID. So if we want a specific post that we need, right, testing that functionality, we can make a get request to fetch a specific post. So let's have a look at like all the posts that we have in the database. So here are these 4 posts. Uh, let's go ahead and get this latest post over here with the ID 4. Uh, okay, cool. So all we do is a get request to posts / ID followed by the ID of that post. And when you hit that request, we get that post with all its fields and data, right? So the player name, because remember when you make a post, you add the player name, you add the player ID, the club, all the way to the date. So it shows over here. This post has 0 likes. I'm gonna demonstrate how likes works in a bit. We're gonna like this post and see that the likes increased over there. Okay. Then we can get player profiles. So in the application, right, we have different players because the application is a sports app about football players. So in the database, you can see apologies. Yeah, so it shows all the players in the database currently. So we can fetch the players, but let's say we want to fetch one specific player in the application. Uh, for instance, this player with the ID number 6, and we go to the players controller section, which is, let's see, over here, and we're gonna fetch one player by its by his ID. So click execute. The get request is sent to that endpoint, and we receive our player, uh, Tabelo Morena, the club. You can see all the players' details over here. If you notice, you'll see a trending rating here. This is um the player's trending rating, which is basically if the player is currently trending, if he's spoken about a lot. So this is triggered by the amount of likes um the player gets on specific posts that are made about him, the amount of comments that are made about him in the application. Based off that, this increases the trending rating. So I will explain that further on in the code. So yeah, that's to get player profiles. And to like a post, you can basically like a post, like just like you would like an Instagram post of a friend. You can like another user's post. So you see these different posts. Let's go like the one I was speaking about earlier. So this one, yeah. So all you have to do is make the post request to /likes /post ID, place the ID, and execute. As soon as you execute, the post request is successful, and we're able to like Jeremy Midgley's post. And the like gets a specific ID of 1, because it's the first like that takes place. So since we liked this specific post, we can go see that that post basically got a like. So if we go fetch, so if we go fetch that specific post, which one is it? Here. Then we can see that the likes basically increased for that post. See, so it's supposed to show there. Good. Okay, so if we fetch the likes, we'll see as well that um, that like is created. So the like with an ID 1, and it fetches the likes. Then next we can comment on a specific post. So let's go comment on a post. So you can see all the posts here. And to comment on a post, we need to make a post request to the post ID that we're commenting on. So if we comment on this post with the ID 4, then we can add the content of our comment, and hit execute. And then the comment is created over here, as you can see, for that specific post with post with the ID number 4. So that specific post gets a comment now, as you can see. And just to show that that specific comment is created, we can go fetch the comments in the database over here, and we see that comment here about for that specific post with the ID 4. Cool. Then we can also search for player, right? So I implemented a search functionality where you can search for a specific player by typing a specific keyword related to that football player. Cool. So let's see. So let's say I wanna search for player whose name starts with Sam. Click execute. Look what it brings. It brings uh, players that have the name that starts with Sam over here. So it brings back 3 players. Then I have analytics functionality where you can basically see that the analytics of the application. So you can see, in this case, I'll demonstrate seeing the most trending players in the application. So let's see. So to see the analytics for trending players, just gonna make a GET request to fetch the analytics for the trending players. So it's made to this endpoint. Simply click here and it gets the most trending players. So this is determined. Trending functionality is determined, or the trending rating of a player is determined by the amount of posts that is made by that player for that player or about that player. And when a post is made about that player and the posts are liked and commented on, the trending rate increases here. So this just fetches the players with the most amount of uh, trending rates, as you can see. Yeah, that's basically demonstration of the different API endpoints in my application, from authentication to creating a post, following, liking, and all of that. Yeah, cool.